What to do when you feel unmotivated after facing your shadow. The moment you peek behind the mask you've worn your entire life, something inside you dies. Not literally, but close enough. You see yourself clearly for the first time. The real you. The one you've been hiding from everyone, including yourself. And suddenly, all those dreams, all those goals, all that burning ambition, it just fades to gray. This is what Carl Jung never warned you about. The aftermath. The void that comes after you've done the work. Face your demons and integrated your shadow. You feel empty, unmotivated, lost, like you've been walking toward a destination your whole life, only to discover it was just a mirage. Now you're standing in the desert, unsure which direction to go. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. And more importantly, you're not broken. Jung called it individuation, the process of becoming whole. But he didn't talk much about what happens when you get there, when you've done the work and suddenly feel nothing. The motivation that once drove you was built on lies, on the need to prove yourself, to hide your shame, to outrun your fears, to become someone worthy of love and acceptance. But now you've accepted yourself, the good and the bad, the light and the dark. So what's left to chase? This is the question that haunts everyone who's done real shadow work. The people pleasers who no longer need approval. The perfectionists who've made peace with their flaws. The achievers who've realized they were running from themselves. They all end up in the same place, staring at their reflection, wondering who they are now. Here's something most self-help gurus won't tell you. When you integrate your shadow, part of you actually does die. The part that was motivated by pain. Think about it. How much of your drive came from proving your worth, from showing the world you're not the failure your inner critic said you were, from trying to fill that empty space inside with achievements, relationships, money, status? That wounded child inside you has been the engine of your ambition, and now that child is healed, so the engine stops. You sit there, looking at your goals, and they feel hollow, like toys you've outgrown. The promotion doesn't matter anymore. The relationship status means nothing. The bank account balance feels irrelevant. This isn't depression. This is awakening. But awakening can feel a lot like dying. Jung understood this phase. He called it the transcendent function, the space between your old self and your new self, between who you were and who you're becoming. It's uncomfortable, dark, uncertain. Most people turn back here. They'd rather return to their familiar suffering than sit in this unknown space. They pick up their old patterns, their old motivations, their old pain, because at least it feels like something. But if you're reading this, you're not most people. You're willing to sit in the void, even when it feels like you're dissolving. Let me break down what's really happening to you. There are 3 distinct stages to this process, and understanding where you are can help you navigate the darkness. Stage 1. The collapse. This is where you are right now. The old you has crumbled, but the new you hasn't emerged yet. Your previous sources of motivation feel meaningless. Your goals seem pointless. Your dreams taste like ash. You might find yourself sleeping more, avoiding responsibilities, procrastinating on projects that once excited you. This isn't laziness. This is your psyche reorganizing itself. Think of it like a computer doing a full system reset. Everything shuts down temporarily while the upgrade installs. You can't force it to go faster. You can only wait and trust the process. Stage 2. The searching. After the collapse comes the searching. You start looking for new meaning, new purpose, new reasons to get out of bed in the morning. But here's the trap. You try to find these things using your old methods. You look outside yourself for answers. You read more books, watch more videos, seek more advice. You might even try to manufacture motivation artificially. Force yourself to care about things you no longer care about. Pretend the old dreams still matter. This doesn't work, and it shouldn't. Because the new you operates differently than the old you. The new you is motivated by different things, deeper things, more authentic things. Stage 3. The emergence. Finally, slowly, something new begins to emerge. Not a resurrection of your old self, but a birth of your true self. This new motivation doesn't come from fear or pain or inadequacy. It comes from love, from curiosity, from a genuine desire to contribute something meaningful to the world. It's quieter than your old motivation, less frantic, less desperate, but it's also more sustainable, more authentic, more aligned with who you really are. Here's what most people don't understand about authentic motivation. It doesn't feel like the motivation you're used to. Your old motivation was loud, urgent, driven by deadlines and fear and the need to prove yourself. It had you working 16-hour days and losing sleep and sacrificing your health. Your new motivation is different. It's calm, patient, sustainable. It comes from a place of fullness, not emptiness, from abundance, not scarcity, from love, not fear. You work because you enjoy the work, not because you need to prove anything. You create because creation brings you joy, not because you need external validation. You pursue goals because they align with your values, not because they'll impress other people. This can feel like a massive downgrade at first. Where's the fire? Where's the passion? Where's the urgency that used to drive you? But here's the secret. This quieter motivation is actually more powerful than your old motivation because it doesn't burn out. It doesn't lead to self-destruction. It doesn't require constant fuel from external sources. It's renewable energy for your soul. Once you understand that your motivation needs to be rebuilt from the ground up, you can start constructing it intentionally. Here are the 4 pillars that will support your new, authentic drive. Pillar 1. Purpose beyond the personal. Your old motivation was all about you, your success, your achievement, your validation. Your new motivation needs to be bigger than you. This doesn't mean you have to save the world, but it does mean finding something that matters beyond your personal gain, something that would still be worth doing, even if no one ever knew you did it. Maybe it's creating art that moves people. Maybe it's solving problems that make life easier for others. Maybe it's raising children who will make the world a little better. The key is that it's not about you. It's through you, but not for you. Pillar 2. Process over outcome. Your old motivation was outcome dependent. You were motivated by the results you would get, the money, the recognition, the status. Your new motivation needs to be process-dependent. You're motivated by the joy of doing the work itself. This is a fundamental shift. Instead of asking, "What will this get me?" you start asking, "How does this feel to do?" Instead of working toward a distant reward, you find reward in the work itself. This makes you anti-fragile, because even if the outcomes don't match your expectations, you've still enjoyed the journey. You've still gained value from the process. Pillar 3. Alignment with your true nature. Your old motivation often went against your natural inclinations. You forced yourself to do things that didn't suit you because you thought you should. Your new motivation needs to work with your nature, not against it. Are you naturally contemplative? Then your motivation might come from deep thinking and reflection. Are you naturally social? Then your motivation might come from collaboration and community. Are you naturally creative? Then your motivation might come from making something new. The key is to stop trying to be someone you're not and start becoming more of who you already are. Pillar 4. Present moment awareness. Your old motivation was always focused on the future, on what you would have, be, or achieve someday. Your new motivation needs to be grounded in the present moment, in what you can do right now, today, with what you have. This doesn't mean you stop planning or setting goals, but it does mean your primary source of satisfaction comes from your current actions, not your future outcomes. You find motivation in the work you're doing today, the person you're being today, the difference you're making today. Knowing these pillars intellectually is one thing. Actually building your new motivational foundation is another. Here's a practical framework for doing the work. Week 1. The inventory. Start by taking inventory of your current situation. What motivated you before your shadow work? Write it all down, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Don't judge it. Just observe it. Notice how much of your old motivation came from fear, inadequacy, or the need to prove yourself. Notice how much came from authentic desire. This isn't about shame, it's about awareness. Week 2. The experiment. For 1 week, try doing things without any external motivation at all. Don't work for money, recognition, or achievement. Work because the work itself interests you. Don't exercise to look better or impress anyone. Exercise because movement feels good. Don't create content to build an audience. Create because you have something to say. This experiment will show you what naturally motivates you when all the external pressure is removed. Week 3. The alignment. Take what you learned from your experiment and start aligning your daily activities with these natural motivations. If you discover you're motivated by learning, build more learning into your day. If you discover you're motivated by helping others, find ways to serve. If you discover you're motivated by beauty, create more beauty in your environment. Start small, make tiny adjustments, see how they feel. Week 4. The integration. Begin integrating these new motivations into your larger goals and projects. If your goal is to build a business, how can you build it in a way that aligns with your natural motivations? If your goal is to improve your health, how can you approach it from a place of self-love rather than self-improvement? If your goal is to create something, how can you focus on the joy of creation rather than the outcome? This is where your new motivation starts to take concrete form in your life. When the old patterns try to return, here's something important to understand. Your old motivational patterns won't disappear overnight. They'll try to come back, especially during times of stress or uncertainty. The people pleaser in you will whisper that you need to work harder to be worthy of love. The perfectionist in you will insist that anything less than excellence is failure. The achiever in you will argue that you're being lazy and complacent. These voices are normal. They're part of your psychological history, but they're no longer your primary operating system. When they arise, acknowledge them. Thank them for trying to protect you. Then gently redirect your attention to your new, authentic motivations. The paradox of effortless effort. As you build your new motivational foundation, you'll discover something paradoxical. The less you force yourself to be motivated, the more naturally motivated you become. The less you try to achieve, the more you actually accomplish. The less you seek external validation, the more fulfillment you find in your work. This is what the Taoists called Wu Wei, action without force, effort without strain, motivation without desperation. It's not about becoming passive or lazy. It's about becoming so aligned with your true nature that right action flows naturally from you, like a river flowing downhill. There's tremendous power and movement, but it's effortless because it's working with gravity, not against it. The new you in the old world. One of the biggest challenges you'll face is navigating a world that still operates on old motivational models, a world that values hustle over harmony, achievement over alignment, doing over being. Your family might not understand why you're no longer driven by the same things. Your friends might think you've lost your edge. Your colleagues might wonder if you've given up on success. This is difficult, but it's also an opportunity to model a different way of being. To show others that there's another path, that you can be productive and purposeful without being desperate and driven. You become living proof that there's life after shadow integration, purpose after healing, motivation after awakening. The long game of authentic living. Here's the truth about authentic motivation. It's not a quick fix. It's not a hack or a technique you can implement over a weekend. It's a way of life that unfolds over years and decades. Some days you'll feel deeply connected to your purpose. Other days you'll feel lost and uncertain. Some periods of your life will feel incredibly productive. Others will feel like fallow seasons where nothing seems to happen. This is normal. This is natural. This is how sustainable motivation works. It ebbs and flows like the tide. But unlike your old motivation, it doesn't burn out. It doesn't require constant external fuel. It's renewable. Your new relationship with success. As your new motivation stabilizes, your relationship with success will change too. Success will no longer be about accumulating things, achievements, or recognition. It will be about alignment, about living in accordance with your deepest values, about contributing something meaningful to the world. You might make less money, but you'll feel richer. You might have fewer achievements, but you'll feel more accomplished. You might receive less recognition, but you'll feel more seen. This is the paradox of post-shadow living. By caring less about traditional markers of success, you often become more successful in the ways that actually matter. The ripple effect. Here's something beautiful about rebuilding your motivation from an authentic place. It doesn't just change you, it changes everyone around you. Your calm confidence gives others permission to slow down. Your authentic success shows others what's possible. Your integrated shadow helps others face their own darkness. You become a beacon for others who are lost in the void after their own shadow work. You show them that there's light on the other side, that the emptiness isn't permanent, that new meaning can emerge from the ashes of old motivation. Moving forward, if you're in the void right now, here's what I want you to remember. You're not broken. You're not lazy. You're not lost forever. You're in transition, between worlds, between versions of yourself. The old you served its purpose. It got you this far. It helped you survive and grow and learn. But now, it's time for something new, something more authentic, something more sustainable. Trust the process. Sit with the uncertainty. Let the new you emerge in its own time. Because on the other side of this darkness is a motivation so pure, so aligned, so authentic, that you'll wonder how you ever lived any other way. The void you're in isn't empty. It's pregnant with possibility. Your new life is being born in the darkness. And when it emerges, it will be more beautiful than anything you could have imagined. We spend so much of life fearing our own depth, hiding behind smiles, chasing light, pretending we're fine. But peace isn't found in pretending. Peace lives where we dare to look in the places we were taught to avoid. What if your pain isn't punishment, but a calling? A quiet voice asking to be heard, not silenced. What if the darkness you run from is simply a forgotten part of you waiting to come home? Integration, not escape. Wholeness, not perfection. That's the path. And when you finally turn toward what you feared, you don't just heal, you become free. If this touched something within you, pass it on to someone caught in their own silent war. And if you're ready to walk deeper into these truths, follow the channel. Let's meet where the shadows end and the soul begins.